everything. All right, before we go further, I want to read a statement into the record, and then we will go to Mr. Brett. Well, and then I have a couple of things first that I would like to address before we go to Mr. Brett and get these out of the way. First thing is, I want to clear the air about the Queen of Hearts game and the questions and allegations that arose about its propriety at their last meeting. The Queen of Hearts raffle is operated by Three Rivers Boosters Club. The Boosters Club is a nonprofit organization and is a registered tax-exempt entity. There were questions, allegations about whether the Boosters Club can operate the Queen of Hearts raffle at a township event. I consulted with our township's legal counsel, and he confirmed that such events are permitted by nonprofits. Under Ohio law, there's a specific statute that permits nonprofits to hold raffles without a license. During the meeting last month, a concern was raised about Queen of Hearts and some guidance from the Ohio Attorney General. The township never received a formal opinion from the Ohio Attorney General about this issue. Apparently, the guidance was informal and from an unknown source at the Ohio Attorney General's office. And the Ohio Attorney General has provided a previously published opinion from 2018 that involved the Queen of Hearts game. We sent the 2018 opinion from the Attorney General to our Township Legal Counsel to review. The Township Legal Counsel reviewed the 2018 Attorney General opinion and concluded that the 2018 opinion is not applicable to the Queen of Hearts raffle operated by the Boosters. The 2018 opinion involved Queen of Hearts game that was operated by a local tavern, where the tavern awarded prizes based on ticket sales, retaining a portion of the proceeds to fund subsequent rounds of the game. The 2018 opinion relates to the game operated by a for-profit business. The ability of nonprofits to conduct a raffle is governed by another statute in the Ohio Revised Code. The 2018 opinion did not analyze the statute governing raffles by nonprofits. In short, because the Boosters Club is operating the Queen of Hearts raffle as a valid non-profit organization and for a charitable purpose, the operation is legal. So I wanted to start off with that, and I want to go from there to...
Well, are we going to, is anyone going to address that?
I'm making a statement. Do you want to address it?
Well, can I ask who prepared that statement?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. But, may I ask if our attorney...
I had input with Alex. That's correct.
Okay.
Because you made allegations at the last meeting that I had to...
I didn't make any allegations. I brought up concerns about liability, and Ms. Rovers brought up concerns, which is her job. Which is her job.
No, it was
and
not.
Mr. Brett
way above
brought
her
up
pay scale.
And Mr. Brett brought up concerns about liability, which is his job. And I backed them up on it to say that I think that they should be looking out for potential liability for the township. No one made any allegations about the Boosters. No one made any allegations about any other business or anything else. We were looking out for the liability and potential best interest of the township. And so I was obviously blindsided by that statement and did not know that was, it wasn't on the agenda. There was nothing to...
That's exactly what we said about the allegations you guys presented at the last meeting. We were blindsided by
keep saying
that.
Allegations.
So it is allegations, and I'm not going to argue with you on the record. We're going to move forward,
Okay.
and I made a statement, and that's it.
And I can't make a statement and
You just finished your statement.
I didn't finish the
You're trying
statement.
to be argumentative.
no. So I spoke with Denise White today from the Ohio Attorney General about an hour and a half ago, and she said, and I quote, "As a general rule, whether for-profit or non-profit, they still have to follow these same guidelines." And those guidelines were in that opinion that was issued by the Attorney General as it relates to Cuyahoga County. and saying that, again, all money in and all money out. So I wasn't planning on bringing this up. I thought we were moving on, and that this was, well, you're not
I had
moving
to
on if you're.
respond to the
issuing us-
allegations that you assumed, or allegations that Mr. Volrath and myself did something unethical, illegal, which was farther from the truth.
Okay.
Everything that the boosters did was 100% legal. We allowed them on township property to sell tickets, not conduct a raffle, sell tickets, and that's all that happened.
Okay, so you and Mr. Volrath made that decision, correct?
What decision?
To allow them to come in?
Just finish making your statement, then we're gonna move on.
So, just know that I have no issue with the boosters doing what you're doing. If you can be successful, I hope you are extremely successful. And that my concern, along with our administrator and along with our events manager, are trying to look out for the township and look out for the boosters. And that's all we're trying to do. I know some of you, and I believe you, to be honest individuals, and I'm telling you that if someone comes to us and shows up with no notice and says, we're selling seltzer, we're selling some sort of, alcohol that we're not familiar with, it is incumbent upon us to make sure that they have whatever liquor license that is, associated with that, so that we can make sure that we're not putting the township, opening ourselves up to a liability that's not necessary. And frankly, we want to look out for that group as well and say, hey, you might need to look into this. You might need to check on this, because we don't want you to get in trouble and we don't want us to get in trouble. That's all this really comes down to. And then, and so we are trying to look out for you, and we're trying to look out for us. And this is turning into allegations and all this other stuff. That's really all that this comes down to, is that we're trying to keep everybody above board and make sure that everybody can thrive and be and be successful. And I don't appreciate the misconstruing things when we're literally, all we're trying to do is look out for you guys and look out for us.
Okay, we're moving on. You said enough. It's grandstand enough. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're looking out for the best interest of the township and our boosters, why wouldn't you bring that to the other trustees' attention? Why would you solicit someone to bring it up into a public meeting and insinuate that there was violations committed? You did that.
I didn't solicit anyone from bringing up anything.
I don't think that's accurate.
Well, okay, you can have an opinion, but to say that I'm soliciting, I didn't solicit
Why would someone under the
anything.
level of the township trustees take it upon themselves to contact the Attorney General's office when it's not in their job description, nor did they have authority to do that?
So, Mr. Brett, may I clarify, asked Ms. Robers,
Why would Mr. Brett ask Ms. Robers
instructed
to do
Ms.
something like
Robers
that?
to call
Can
the
you
Attorney
shut the
General.
doors, please? I know, I'm hot too, but
Just to clarify, Mr. Brett, our administrator, and it's his job to run the day-to-day operation of the township, asked Ms. Robers to contact the Attorney General and try to get some clarification. Is that correct, Mr. Brett?
that should have never happened.
Well,
Because
okay.
you're the administrator, and it should have never happened.
I'm getting darts thrown at me. I'm just trying to clarify and set the
Darts
record.
thrown at you, you're getting facts thrown at you, that's what they are.
Okay, so Mr. Brett he asked Ms. Robers to do what he thought was best as our administrator. And then he asked her to check with the our Attorney General. She did exactly what she was instructed to do by her supervisor, who she reports to. Then when she got a certain response and brought it back, then my understanding is that that was questioned. And so Mr. Brett took it upon himself to say, well, it shouldn't be a hearsay, this person, that person. So then he called up to the Ohio Attorney General, had a conversation on his own, and then got the same exact consistent response that Ms. Roberts got. So we have an administrator and events manager, both getting the exact same statements from
My
the,
question is though, why would he have someone under, is she your assistant? Is she supposed to do?
She's
duties
department
such
head.
as
She's a part-time events coordinator is all
that?
she
She
is.
schedules people to rent the
Reception
community
hall, and that's it. It's
And
way above
it's
her
my
pay scale.
understanding that the attorney, your attorney for the township, stated that there were no violations.
That's
committed,
correct.
And he continued to call or insinuate that violations were committed. On the record.
can you let our administrator speak, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
You
were
got
speaking
no,
for him
you
before.
need to speak up because you got nothing in writing. And everything that you didn't hardly put anything on the record, it was Carrie. And everything you got was, they told you they can't give legal advice. And I told you in an email to quit questioning our attorney because he issued his opinion, and that's what we're going by.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, it is your
Okay.
turn.
So let me back up to the way this got brought up. Someone came by me at the concert, at the first concert, and said, "Hey, what's over there?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's the Taylor Boosters. They're doing Queen of Hearts, and all the money, that they make goes back to the athletic programs. It's a great program." And he looked at me and said, "That's not really legal, I don't think." I said, "Gee, I don't know. I don't." At that point in time, I didn't even know how the Queen of Hearts worked. So, as our meeting was approaching, I did not have time to do it myself. And quite honestly, we pay Ms. Roberts to put together the events, and I kind of saw it as part of her job, so I tasked her with it. She was actually uncomfortable coming to the meeting, and I just had it in my report. And I asked her to be prepared to add anything additionally. And that was way before this went to Mr. Ewing at our attorney's office. And until after that night, I had not called anybody and checked. I had already called and checked before Alex got involved. So there was no malice, nothing trying to do anything behind anybody's back. My neighbors at my house are members of the Boosters. I talked with them about it to find out how it worked. And quite honestly, the only way to get something in writing would be to ask for a formal Attorney General's opinion. But if we do that, we have to tell them who we are and who they are, the Boosters. I didn't want to do that because, quite honestly, out of sight, out of mind, if they don't know what's going on and they can make money for the kids, I think we're all in favor of making money for the kids. So they let the Boosters know what I found out, and it really should be the end of it, I think.
And for the record, I took the same approach. And when I was talking to them this afternoon, I said, it doesn't matter who the group is. It's just, we're just trying to look out for the township and our liability. So so now we're getting, I know it's easy to point fingers and make, but now we're getting to the truth of really how this all went down.
Well, my main question is, isn't that an issue that you should bring up to the trustees and discuss with them before you solicit and look into an issue that could potentially affect the township, instead of just going out on a limb and then bringing it up in a public meeting?
I don't see any difference between that and checking to make sure that the seltzer that the Legion was selling was covered under their license. I checked on that, mainly because Carrie was on vacation, wasn't here. But I try to check on things that I think might be an issue for the township all the time.
I understand that.
And I think that's my job.
I do know that Mr. Robeson was upset that the Boosters were there, period.
No, well, ma'am.
That's true.
Ma'am,
You were.
I was upset that you didn't tell any of us, that you didn't tell Jim Brett, you didn't tell Carrie Rivers, and you didn't tell me.
We're moving on.
You want to say stuff, but then I want to say something.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Messer.
Carrie called one, you called two, and you called
Just
three.
today, yeah.
Today. Why do we need 3 phone calls to the same person to get the same answer?
After
That's
legal counsel.
after, I don't know I don't know the whole realm, I'm just getting back into
Sure.
it.
Our legal counsel issued an opinion where we did not do anything illegal.
Attorney generals, when we already knew what, I don't know, are we, and I'm not accusing anybody, but where do we stand on that, like, because obviously we're getting different answers.
We
I got a different
stand
answer.
behind our attorney in that firm.
Is that something?
Frost, Brown and Todd, that's who, we hire them.
Yeah,
We've hired them through the township, through our official representation, and that is the opinion we're going with. I'm not doing any hearsay of over the phone, nothing in writing, nothing. They don't even know all the facts. That's the thing.
And they're not
So-
allowed to give legal advice, let alone tell.
So,
you
Mr.
what
Messer?
violations they
Just so we'll kind of clear the air on this, I know people have reached out to Jackie's, her establishment over this, because that's where they hold it. So the Queen of Hearts, as a booster member, alum, I ask questions, right? So the original, the boosters put up X amount of dollars to get the game started. And you're talking probably within a couple weeks, it happened quick, somebody hit it, okay? So with that being said, the boosters decided to ante up another 6,000, right? So currently, they are not turning a profit. So legally, they are good to go.
Great.
If somebody hits that thing, wash your hands of it, whatever it may be, whether they got a license or not, I don't know that aspect of it. But legally, right now, as they sit, they are in good graces. That's it.
Yeah, and they are in good graces because they're doing everything
They're
$100%.
$8,000.
100% legal.
They've not
That's
made
why.
that yet.
Well, that's great, but so what about Jackie's establishment? Who has reached out?
I don't know specific names, but, Ms. Jackie's very displeased right now because her name's being ran through the ringer.
She's very
Because she's
upset.
holding the event, she has nothing to do with the money. Jackie's a big supporter of our community, absolutely big. She's part of,
I think she's great.
To me, this is just something that we're kicking a lady for no reason. She's trying to do what's right for the community, and, I commend her for that. 'Cause it's-
I do too. I think she's great. She's a big supporter of law enforcement and our veterans and everything else. If there's any accusations, anybody in my sphere, then I'd love to know it, because I haven't talked to her or had any communication in 4 or 5 years with her. So,
All right, let's move on.
I'd love to know if there is something, because I'd love to
Let's
get to the
move
bottom
on.
of it, to be honest.
All right, the next, I'm jumping around a little bit, Jim. I'm
That's
going
all right.
through the policy right now since we're talking about this. I'm making a motion for the policy advice of legal counsel. All requests for legal opinions on behalf of the township shall be made exclusively through the Board of Trustees approved legal counsel. Right now, it's Frost, Brown and Todd. Requests for legal opinions may only be initiated by any individual township trustee or the physical officer, the township administrator, or individuals who have been expressly authorized by the Board of Trustees. No other township official, employees, or representatives are permitted to request a legal opinion directly from legal counsel without prior authorization as described above. An authorized township official, employee, or representative who receives a legal opinion under this policy shall maintain confidentiality of all attorney-client privilege, communications, and work product. Such confidential communications and work products should only be shared with the Board of Trustees, the fiscal officer, the township administrator, and any individual expressly authorized by the Board of Trustees. Legal counsel shall not respond to requests for legal opinions unless such requests originate through the approved process outlined in this policy. The enforcement is failure to comply with this policy may result in requests being disregarded or may result in discipline. And I will make that a motion that we move to pass this policy for Miami Township.
Okay, I will second.
I'd like to know, so first of all, I got this a few hours ago. So I glanced over it about a couple hours ago and we were made aware of it. What is the goal or what is the purpose?
You gotta read it.
I read it. I'm asking
That's the goal.
what the purpose,
The
what are we
goal
trying to
is
accomplish?
to exclusively use Frost, Brown, and Todd for our legal opinions. They're our attorney that we hire. That's our, so we don't go through this hearsay. She called this person,
That's
he
smart.
called that person. We're doing away with all that. All legal opinions from today moving forward will come from our legal counsel. That's what this is about.
So does this hamstring Mr. Brett as far as being the administrator in any way? I mean,
Not that
there's
I
a
see
lot
that
of
the
things
township
that we,
administrators in here.
well, there's a lot of things with fire chiefs and that have legal aspects to it. So I'm just trying to understand how narrow and or specific or how broad
It
this
lists
is.
the township administrator if you read it.
No, I
Can make a
read it.
request.
Or the board, right? The board or the
Or the
township.
board, or you, Cindy, fiscal officer. All right, did you make a
And
motion?
you think this is you're recommending this, Mr. Ewing?
Well, it is, I think the intent of the policy is just to make sure that there's, a chain of, a chain of command as far as, how legal things are requested. And I think that does help to get consistency because getting inconsistent opinions can be, problematic. I think as far as your question about, department heads, I think that's definitely a good point. But, the township administrator works closely with the department heads, and if they have a question that has a legal aspect, if you can administer that. And then, if there's something where, a larger project that you want, the attorney to be working, like, for example, collective bargaining negotiations, that's something that you can authorize. And I want to be clear too, this is not and I do appreciate you, stating our firm being the representative, but the trustees decide who the representative is, so.
That's correct.
If the trustees would like to seek an opinion from the prosecutor's office or another law firm, that doesn't restrict you from doing that under the policy.
Okay. So would you recommend that all requests go through the administrator, so that, a trustee would just, and department head, really, anybody kind of funnel it through there so that you're talking about it being handled consistently? Is that a better approach or not?
Well, I would say it this way, I think that especially in my experience in local government, it is not uncommon for elected officials to have questions that are legal. And not just townships, but cities, I do get questions on a regular basis.
Yeah, we're not gonna take that away from the
Right.
board. It's not gonna
I
happen.
Now,
Right.
and again, one thing to be clear, the confidentiality belongs to the board as a whole, so, there's no attorney-client privilege between one trustee and another attorney. So I wanna be clear about that. However, it is not uncommon to get, legal questions from time to time. Another thing too, I would just a little, specific aspect here, townships, and although townships like Miami Township are growing and moving, communities, traditionally, they're kind of smaller government, and, because of that, even though you have an administrator, you have department heads, it's not uncommon for township trustees to be a little bit more involved, so, I guess the bottom line is that I would not say there's anything unusual from elected officials asking to be.
Okay, and Mr. Brett, after hearing the explanation, are you in good in general with this? Or have anything before we vote?
I have some concerns that I would like to discuss with Alex about things like, if the fire chief gets an opinion from the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, Do we then send that to Alex, have him review it? You know, how deep in the,
What are you talking about?
we get opinions from the Ohio Fire Chiefs
You're in here
Association.
as a township administrator, maybe you can do.
Well, I'm saying we got those before, and we may get them in the future.
Okay, but.
Do I send it to Alex and have him approve it? Because it then becomes legal advice, so it's got to come from Frost, Brown, and Todd. May not be Alex, may not be his area of expertise, but somebody there
Yeah,
will understand it. And you know, and just how deep in the woods do we go with what's legal, and you know, defining that. And there's just a lot of things I would like to talk to Alex about it, but
well, you can. We got a motion pending, and we're moving forward. So we can always go back if we have to alter it, we can, or amend it, we can. But right now, I'm standing by my motion that's read into the record. Mr. Volrath is second it. And Ms. Ozier?
All right, Mr. Volrath?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
I guess yes, but I will, I guess we'll keep an eye on it. I'm trying to still get my head around it.
All right.